First at 4, it is a COVID-19 turning point. The first doses of a vaccine arrive in Metro Detroit. We're tracking this massive effort to protect Americans from the virus. Paula.
Well, Devin, of course, the vaccine was made in Michigan, but now it is in Michigan hospitals. And we are with the Michigan woman who's been in charge of distribution as she escorts some of the first doses to one of our local hospitals.
All right, Paula, also Michigan's presidential decision. This is normally a rather routine procedure, but the 2020 election has been anything but routine. We'll have the latest coming up from Lansing. Let's turn to Ben.
Hey, Devin, flakes are flying out there in some spots, but don't expect a lot. And this is maybe all we see this week. Find out what's going to be in its place right now. First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Devin Skillian in for Karen today. This is the moment millions of people have been waiting to see, the very first American receiving a coronavirus vaccine in New York, a scene that will play out in all 50 states, including here in Michigan. At this hour, we're still waiting for the first photos or video of patients getting the vaccine in our state, but the first doses have been arriving since this morning at facilities in Metro Detroit. It does take some time, though. The vaccine has to be thawed before it can be administered. As the vaccination program, though, gets started, the state of Michigan reporting 7,200 new cases of the virus. That number, though, a 2-day total for Sunday and Monday. State also reports another 90 people have died from COVID. We've just learned the total number of deaths in the United States has now topped 300,000. Paula Tutman has been talking with a member of Operation Warp Speed for weeks, and she joins us with a progress report on this Monday. Paula.
Hi, Devin. Yeah, it's really exciting to see Marion Wicker, who was right there. She's been in Washington, D.C. She came back to Michigan because she wanted to see the fruits of her labor. Yes, there are still lots of questions about this vaccine. No doubt about it. But also, a lot of people are hoping that this answers their hopes and prayers.
I hear of a package you want.
The vaccine arrived at Michigan Medicine at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor just around 9 this morning.
There you go.
Marion Wicker, a Warren resident on loan from TACOM to Operation Warp Speed, who's been working on logistics for months.
I flew in with my companion here, Colonel Mike Post.
Made the trip from Washington, D.C. to Portage, Michigan to oversee the first shipments.
This was the actual packing up of the soft box, the thermal box that the vaccines were shipping in. So it was filling the bottom of the box with dry ice, putting the vaccines in, filling the top with dry ice, alerting the temperature logger, and then sealing the box.
She then drove to Ann Arbor to get a sense of how the planning and actual execution was going.
There you go. Now you're going to see the... Pull the box out. Yep, okay. Leave it there. See the 2 straps?
The intel that I'm getting is all of the vaccines are around the country are arriving thus far as they should.
Michigan Medicine is working out the kinks, making sure the process is right and watching for any possible adverse reactions or side effects. And so only 5 people will be vaccinated today and only 40 tomorrow.
It's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we still have a ways to go. We still need to wear masks. We still need to social distance until all of this, or the majority of us, can get the vaccine. But it was a package of hope.
At almost the same time, in the city of New York, the first non-trial emergency authorized dose was going into the arm of an ICU nurse named Sandra.
And it didn't feel any different from taking any other vaccine.
And across the nation, glimmers inside of hallways in hospitals as precious cargo arrives via express mail carriers, not just as a vaccine, but as the hopes and desires of so many people who see this as the first step to getting their lives back. Though it cannot be ignored that today, the grim milestone of 300,000 Americans will never return to us because of this virus.
We're starting down the getting everyone vaccinated pathway and hopefully seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for the COVID pandemic.
You know, I just don't know that we can say this enough. This is not a vaccine approval. It is an emergency use authorization by the FDA. That is different, but the manifestation is the same in this way, Devin, and that is there is a lot of excitement by the fact that this is finally going into the arms of some people.
No doubt, Paula, but since, Marion's been in the middle of all this and you've been talking to her, I'm wondering if she's seeing anything that still kind of needs tweaking, anything that they can improve on here.
Yeah, you know what? She'll be the first to tell you that there are a lot of people involved in making this happen, right? It's not just her. She is the deputy chief of the distribution and production. Okay, so that's important to say. But in following this from Washington, D.C. to Portage to Ann Arbor, she did notice that there were maybe some communication things that need tweaking in terms of communicating with some of the hospitals when they might actually be receiving some of these vaccines. Keep in mind, she is now on her way back to Washington, D.C. because Moderna is being heard on Thursday.
Right.
And she needs to start working on that. And so hopefully she can apply some of those fixes.
Which is its own then sort of parallel logistical odyssey to go through as well. Yeah, all right, Paula. Our coverage of the vaccine will continue here at 5 o'clock this evening. We're going to bring our Dr. Frank McGeorge into the conversation to answer some of the questions that you might have about the vaccine. Also, now that it is starting to become available, Help Me Hank has a warning about how scammers might try to take advantage of the situation. We'll have what you need to know there, and we'll of course bring you continuous updates on the coronavirus page at clickondetroit.com. All right, today is a key moment in America's tradition of democracy and a peaceful transition of power. From coast to coast, the Electoral College is meeting to formally vote for the next president of the United States as required by the U.S. Constitution. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom show us how things have played out in Lansing. Kim.
Hi, Devin. Good afternoon. President Trump and his supporters have waged an unsuccessful effort to question and to overturn Michigan's presidential results. And today, there were no real surprises as Michigan electors confirmed Democrat Joe Biden has won the state's 16 electoral votes.
The electors have unanimously cast 16 votes for Joseph R. Biden.
Now, normally the electoral meeting is a quiet formality as the state's popular vote determines how the electors cast their ballots. But this year, there were questions about if and how the results might be changed. Leading Republicans were even called to the White House a few weeks ago. They denied they ever discussed the election with President Trump. In the end, Michigan's electoral votes were cast for Democrats, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. Governor Whitmer was on hand as the process got started.
Michigan has chosen a clear winner for the office of President of the United States and for every elected office up and down that ballot. The people have spoken. It was a safe, fair, and secure election. It was the kind of election our founding fathers envisioned when they created this democracy and built this country. And after today, the results will be final.
Now, there was a little bit of drama before the vote. There were very few protesters, but one state Republican lawmaker made some comments about a, quote, Hail Mary attempt to intervene in the process. He's in a little bit of trouble now. We'll have that part of the story coming up when you join us for Local 4 News at 5. Until then, Devin, we'll send it back to you.
KG, we'll see you then.
Yep.
Well, it's a new day for the UAW. Meanwhile, federal prosecutors have reached a settlement with the union in the wake of the ongoing corruption scandal. The new reform agreement includes the appointment of an independent monitor to try to combat fraud. That monitor will stay in place for 6 years to watch over the union's finances. The proposed deal would allow members to decide if they will vote directly on the union's leadership. An investigation into bribery and embezzlement in the UAW's upper ranks has led to now 15 convictions, and that includes 2 former union presidents.
Our goal has been a simple one: provide justice to the members of the UAW. This will not fully happen until the members and their families have a restored faith in the union leadership, until the workers trust that their leaders will put the interests of the membership above all other considerations. Today's agreement is another step in advancing toward that goal.
And Schneider went on to say current UAW President Rory Gamble is not a target of its investigations. The deal, though, does still have to be approved by a federal judge. Detroit-based TCF Bank and Huntington Bank shares are merging to create what they call a Midwest powerhouse bank. We heard about the deal last night, and today officials shared why they're so excited about it.
TCF will bring 1.5 million consumer customers to the combined organization, which plays into our consumer banking strengths. We're excited about the opportunity to introduce these new customers to our distinguished product set.
The merger is worth $22 billion. The company is going to have dual headquarters both in Detroit and Columbus, Ohio, but the TCF branding is going to disappear, which means the TCF Center in Detroit will be renamed the Huntington Center. Well, we had a taste of the 50s on Saturday, which was really beautiful. It was lovely, but temperatures have dropped. It feels quite a bit more chilly than that today. Ben's got a peek at the first forecast right now. Ben?
Yeah, Devin, happy Monday. And just like last week, we're starting with the coolest numbers first, and then we'll start adding to those as we get later into the week. But it definitely feels winter-like out there, even though we're still a little bit away from the official start of the season. Storm Tracker 4 has got some lake effect snow showers. Those are going to be with us probably through the evening. Really not going to amount to much, and you can see there are breaks in the clouds, so the sunshine getting in around those in spots. Otherwise, low 30s is where we sit right now. This is going to be one of the coolest high temperatures that we see. The warmest numbers will be coming over the weekend. Do not expect the 50s. I'll just preface the forecast with that. Quick hitter there midweek, and then another round of rain and snow possible for the weekend. We'll run it all down for you in just a few minutes. Devin?
Okay, Ben. Still ahead, the battle in Congress over COVID relief. Are two bills better than one? We'll talk about that idea. Also, we're tracking a potential name change in Major League Baseball. We talked about a bank. How about the Cleveland baseball team? Also, the connection between big waves in this major city with what's happening in outer space. We've got news from across the country next.